graduated high school in 2019. I went to college at Penn State. For the first 2 years of my college career, I was a civil engineer. I was studying civil engineering. And then I realized I don't understand science. I don't understand physics. I don't understand statics or dynamics or any of the stuff that I need to know to be able to build a bridge that won't explode like the one in Baltimore. So I dropped out. I went into film, and that's why you see what you see today. A beautiful set here that I just complained about everything being wrong with in the beginning of this show. But I have a couple questions even from college that I never got explained to me. Starting with atoms. I don't understand atoms. I saw a TikTok the other day that broke down like the size relativity of an atom to your hair, and like a strand of hair, and it said if a strand of hair on your head was the size of the earth, an atom would be the size of a grain of sand. And I'm thinking, well, then what do I care? If an atom is so tiny that it would have to be, my hair would have to be the size of the earth for me to even see a grain of sand that is an atom, well, then I don't care. And I believe you that they're there, but I don't think anyone should be focusing on atoms or particles or quarks or whatever these things are called that make up little tiny, the nucleus and a mitochondria and all this stuff. Can we stop with that? Can we stop focusing on this stuff? Like, I'm glad Albert Einstein broke down all the ways these things move. That's great. That happened already. I'm sure there is plenty more to know about it, and if we ever wanted to use teleportation or any of these things, like the Willy Wonka TV shrink ray, I'm sure we're going to need to know how atoms work. But until then, can we stop talking about them? They're irrelevant. They're puny. They're tiny. They're small. There's a reason people don't use pennies anymore. Pennies are bigger. Pennies are a 1/100th of a dollar bill. You see people use dollar bills. How often do you see anybody with a penny? People are on the same page about that. Like, hey, pennies are kind of stupid. Let's just use credit cards. But for whatever reason, we're all supposed to just go, well, atoms make up everything. You know, a carbon atom is different than a gold atom. And how many electrons and protons are on the side of it? Who cares? Can we get past it? They're too small to care about. They're just, it's disturbing that anyone's even focused on atoms. They're like, you know, this table made up of atoms. They're constantly vibrating. Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, if they are, I can't feel it. And if I can't feel it, then I don't care. So atoms piss me off. The second thing I'm confused about, I still don't understand, is gravity. So Isaac Newton invented gravity, right? We're all on the same page with this. He was sitting under a tree, reading a book, writing in his diary, and an apple fell on his head. Okay, gravity. Great. I understand gravity conceptually. The earth is spinning so fast that it sucks everything in, and I've seen this on small scales, like when you're on that ride at the circus or the carnival or the fair, that it spins you around super fast and you get sucked to the back of the wall, right? Centripetal force, whatever it is. Centrifuge, I'm guessing, has something to do with that word. So it's spinning so fast and it's so huge that it pulls everything towards it. That's why when an apple breaks off a tree, it falls down. It gets sucked down to the earth, right? Okay, I get that. But riddle me this, brainiacs. How does gravity get in my house? I get how. Is it like oxygen? Like, I get if my house was a vacuum and there was no air in here and I opened the front door with all my might in a weird vacuum. I opened the door, all the air would get sucked into my house and it would fill up all the nooks and crannies of my entire home. I understand that. Is that how gravity works? That's how it fits in my head, because I'm like, well, I would understand gravity working like this pen falling if I didn't have a roof on my house. I would understand that because the gravity can go through, like, there's a hole in the roof, so the gravity gets in. I think that's a Beatles song. But since I have a roof over my head, how does the gravity know to get into the roof? I'm just in a square box here. I'm in a 10-foot by 10-foot bedroom, and somehow the gravity knows to act the same way as it would if I was outside. Right? So if you're saying like that's a stupid argument, and you're going to say, Harrison, the gravity doesn't come from the top down, it comes from the bottom up to pull you down. It comes from the core of the earth. Okay, well, I have a floor. So how's the gravity get through my floor? I don't understand how gravity works. I think I'm just kind of trusting everybody. Like, I certainly believe in it. I'm not a flat earther. But I don't get it. Let's not pretend like we just get it and you go, oh, well, since that's how things have worked forever, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but it's allowed to not make sense. Kind of like when people say, oh, well, a positive times a positive is a positive. Oh, so does that mean a negative times a negative is a negative? No. A negative times a negative is also a positive. What? What are you talking about? That's just something you heard in school and you just have to go with because we based all calculus off of it and all that stuff. I'm fine with buying into it. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind here about how we shouldn't use those rules like gravity and atoms and numbers. I'm fine with buying into it, but I also want to tell you it doesn't make any sense to me. And that's why I dropped out of engineering.